Now, you know, it's quite a symbolic evening for me. Sorry to change this conversation onto me, but tomorrow is the release of my record.
Come
Okay,
on.
come on. And one of the reasons I wanted,
Milestone,
one of the
surely.
reasons I want to do this, and I'm still getting over the fact that some people are going to be watching this, so I'm trying to be as relaxed as possible and not do the background. However, I want to thank you as part of the process because, and you know this is true,
Yeah.
because it started with you and I was trying to remember what year it was. Is it 2009, 2008?
2009.
2009.
And do you know why I remember that? It's because my wife bought me a ukulele for my birthday. Took it on holiday that summer, and I met up with you guys.
We went to the chateau.
Yeah.
So that's when it was, right? We should put it into context a little bit. You're living in Stoke Newington. We're living off Newington Green, and we've met up walking on the heath. And we've holidayed. And we've got this kind of dual thing whereby we're trying to be hands-on dads and we're fried, lack of sleep, you know, all that stuff. And it's amazing and we're loving it. And we've also got this creative side where you've made Son of Rambo. Had you shot it then?
Yeah, so that was done in 2006, finished 2007, came out 2008.
Yeah. And you've done Hitchhikers and all the stuff. And I should say to everybody, you know, Garth was part of this incredible team called Hammer and Tongs. And you made some of the greatest pop videos of the 90s and the noughties. And
we did do a lot.
You and Adam worked with Radiohead for In Rainbows.
That's right. On the webcast, we did a couple
Headcam.
of videos. Yeah.
So we basically, and I think it was Wednesday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, I will never forget.
You'd come around, cycle over on your big Dutch bike, and we'd sit there. Our kids are all now in bed. It's about 8 o'clock. We'd play our ukuleles. I'd never played a ukulele before. And we'd sing songs, and we'd drink Pai Mutan white tea.
It was the best tonic to what was going on at that time. I think it was your idea. In fact, you bought me, I had a little ukulele, but then you bought me this one. I bought
the Fender ukulele. Is it sounding good?
Yes, indeed. I'm not going to play it now.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, those Wednesdays became sort of a vital ingredient to both of us in terms of where we were at and where we were going, right?
Yeah, for me, it was really interesting because at the time, I was really burnt out. I think the whole In Rainbows thing had really, part of it was really reinvigorating, but I was really struggling with that whole thing of like, am I feeling music anymore? And that can be a worrying thing. What those nights did, and I had no expectation. It was just like you and me talking about stuff, talking about everything, laughing about being a dad, the struggles, and also what we were doing creatively, and also the creative process, because we're very interested in that. I remember we talked a lot about the Pixar films and how they set up. We talked, you know, Andrew Stanton and Ed Catmull and all that we were talked about. But for me, and this is why it's kind of important in my journey, just playing songs. And I think the first song was it Waterloo Sunset or something? Was it the Kinks' Waterloo Sunset?
Yeah, that could have been it actually, yeah.
And we did a Beatles
quite
song.
A few in the locker, Ed.
Yeah, we did. We'll get back to that. But the thing that I remember was I just fell in love. And we were singing. It was the first time I'd been singing as well. And you and I were singing and playing. And I felt back in love with music again. And it was such an amazing thing for me because I wasn't going into it. Because, you know, when music is your job, sometimes you have expectations. You do something, go, well, the cause of this, if I go in the studio or if I play this, then it gets released. And there was nothing of that. It was just about the joy of being with a mate playing music. And to me, that is such an important thing. And I realize the importance of, you don't realize that when you do things that are just right and feel right, you don't realize how they can blossom and reach out in other areas of your life. Quite unexpected. So, and that really was where the seed was planted. So thank you to you, but thank you to the Ukes of Hazzard, as we called ourselves.
Yeah, we were the Ukes. Well, partly Ukes of Hazzard because of the Dukes of Hazzard, but also Hazard by Richard Marx.
Which
was one of our songs.
You introduced me to that song because I remember Richard Marx.
I it to you. I was like, Ed, we've got to do Richard Marx's Hazard. And I remember thinking, this is probably pushing Ed out of his comfort zone right now.
Well, I had Richard Marx down as that kind of soft rock balladeer, along with, there was another American with long hair at that time, the beginning of the 90s. But here's the thing. You kind of said, and you said we're doing this song called Hazard. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to go with this because I love Garth. I love the fact that he's got this eclectic music taste. And for me, it was so important because in that song, that lyric is really beautiful, isn't it?
The thing is, it's just fun to sing. It's just nice to sing, right? And that thing you said earlier was that we didn't have any agenda.
No.
And for years, ever since you left school, there's been an agenda. Ever since you've been a band, ever since I'd started trying to do videos and trying to get the film, everything's about this has to work, right? And then suddenly you're sitting there drinking a cup of tea and it doesn't have to work. And by the way, there is no other instrument on earth that has less expectations than ukulele. Right? If we just sit down at a piano, it's like, well, you better come with it. You bring it, right? Or a drum kit or an electric guitar. It's like, well, let's see what you got. With the ukulele, it doesn't matter. So it's like for the two of us, because I was going through a very odd time too. And none of us went into this thinking, let's get ourselves out of this hole by returning to our roots. It was just something we fell into.
Clinging onto on like a ritual on Wednesday night that you look forward to in the week.
Exactly. And I'm sure normal people would do things like five-a-side football or maybe go to the pub or something. But for you and me, it was drinking Chinese tea and playing ukuleles. And honestly, I loved it. And even the nights when it was like, oh, it's been a crappy day, I could do with just sitting in front of the telly and not going out anywhere. I'd get to your house, and by the time I got my shoes off and come downstairs into the kitchen, it was like, I'm in, and it was fabulous. We'd have these ridiculous chats.
You were really good though, because you were the one that had to get on your bike. All I had to do was go downstairs to the kitchen, and I know what you mean. You were very good. You got yourself out of the house. Yeah,
but there were two reasons for this. One, I had 4 kids, right? And 2 of them very young. It was a bit more of a fiasco around at my place. 2, I used to like coming in and getting the leftovers because often your kid would have left a few bits out. There'd be like a jacket potato, and I'd say, anyone have that jacket potato? It was brilliant, Ed. And also, it was always like really quiet. That bedtime hour when you have young children is a magical hour. And we would sit there and play these songs, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And for me, it was a tonic as well, because you and I were sort of in different worlds, but sort of in similar places. It was just getting back to the reason we like doing what we're doing in the first place, which was playing. Obviously, I do film and stuff, but it's still the same kind of thing. And obviously, I'd been through 4 years. When Son of Rambo was finished, I tried to make 2 other films. And it took 4 years for both those films to collapse, which was heartbreaking and exhausting, and definitely takes its toll on your, am I doing the right thing? There's 4 children here and my wife, and am I insane to follow this? For some reason, sitting with you every night, every Wednesday, playing our ukuleles, that really was a sort of beginning of coming back and having those chats. Do you know what I mean? Because neither of us have any baggage, because we've sort of met in our adult years. And so we could just start from scratch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And sometimes you get people in both our industries who want to give you advice. They want to say, what you want to do is, you're not in a great situation. And we weren't doing that because we were listening to one another, playing some songs, and we'd had a bit of a chat. Right, let's play It's Different for Girls. Yeah, we did a good version of that. Joe Jackson.
Yeah, and I found one the other day on voice memos that was Norwegian Wood.
Ah, come on. I mean, the Beatles did a version, but the Ukes of Hazzard, man.
If the Beatles heard this now, they'd be like, oh, snap, they've got it.
They got it. They got the essence of Norwegian Wood right there. We actually played live as well, didn't we? We did Adam Buxton's...
It was his wife's birthday, and a couple of people performed on a little stage in a barn in his house, right? And you and I got up and did a bunch of songs, and one of them was David Bowie's China Girl, which we changed the lyric to Norfolk Girl, I think. Yeah, because we're that good.
Because we're that good, right? We're that subtle. I tell you what, I was more nervous that night. I don't know why, playing ukes and singing.
Because here's the thing, right?
Than the Reading Festival that year.
Yeah, and I'm like, it could be anyone singing, but it's your job to sing and perform. So it's like, I did not envy your position at all. While this lockdown's been on, we've made 3 videos. 3 different parties have asked us, can you contribute to a music video? We're doing a big family thing. And because I'm video bloke, better bring my A game. But no, those were magic.
They were great.
And they kind of became, without me realizing it at the time, sort of the building blocks to get myself together to sort of get back on the horse. Yeah. And that led me to make the first Sing film and move out here.
I think that it's that thing as well, that you follow your intuition. This thing feels really good. This thing is bringing me joy. I don't have any expectations from this, but this thing feels right. And it's amazing in life when you do these things and they come from a place of, I want to be a hippie and say love. That's the phraseology that I would use.
Yeah, because the opposite of the love thing is getting caught up in what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's going ahead of me. That, are people going to like this? All that stuff. The worrying about how one will be perceived or what the thing is that you're making will be perceived. And to let go of that and go with just what you like doing, which is grounded in Richard Marx's Hazard. It's quite liberating, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think on that note, with Richard Marx Hazard, we can draw a line there and stop recording. Thank you, Garth.
You're welcome, Ed. And man, congratulations. This is a big deal for both of us to see this album released tomorrow. Bravo, man. I'm so proud.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for your part in this, because honestly, I know this is all a bit weird because we're mates and this is being watched and I'm trying to explain it as well. It really was
weird, though. I like it.
It's a good weird, right? It's a good weird.
Yeah, I like putting a stake in the ground all these years later and saying, nailed it.
Hey, and can we do this when in December 2021? Can we come back to you and can we do this again?
Yeah, I'll have this really long grey beard and you'll wheel me in. I'll say, the film's done, Ed. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.